David Morgan with you at the Metals Investment Forum in Toronto, Canada. It's not that cold. We're in a warm room, right, Brian?
warm in here.
So, Golden Arrow Resources, it's a story that we followed for quite some time. Got the Grosso Group behind it. And you and I have known each other for quite some time. We've watched the silver market go up and down.
Yes.
And the ratio changed quite a bit. But the story is good. Your story is an Argentina story mostly. So why don't you start us off kind of at the beginning for people that aren't familiar with Golden Arrow, and we'll take it from there.
Sure, Dave. I'd be happy to do that. The Grosso Group's been operating in Argentina since 1993. Joe set up the company at that point and has been working there continuously since then. Had a lot of success as a company. 4 major discoveries in Argentina, Guacamayo and Navidad, most recently Chinchillas, which we ended up selling or working a deal with Silver Standard or SSR Mining, and then selling our 25%. And then most recently our sister company, Blue Sky Uranium, has found the Amarillo Grande project. So it's been very, very successful over the years. Joe is very well known and respected in the circles of Argentina. Interesting, in the last couple of years, we've also looked, we've thrown the net a little further afield and looking at other countries and keeping our home in Argentina and mostly looking down in that area because of that's where abundance of our staff are. And we've now expanded into a project, a more advanced project with potential of production in Chile and a huge opportunity being kind of pioneers going into Paraguay, where we picked up a huge parcels of land there where you've got Proterozoic gold belts, very similar to what you see in West Africa and Northern Ontario, that we believe have really good potential to go. So, I mean, you've got these good projects, you've got proven management, and with the monetizing of our 25% of Puna operations with SSR Mining, that's, cashed us right up to, we're 25 million or something, depending on what the shares are worth any given day. So no, we're in a good spot, good history, and I think a really good future.
Great. So what is the future? Look, I know it's a forward-looking statement, but what do you see the company doing over the next year or two?
Well, we've, as I mentioned, we've been looking since our deal with SSR Mining, and we've found good projects. A lot of people don't realize that you find a project to explore. There's a lot of work before that point. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the 3 projects that we're working on now took a year and a half to get permitted, and it was just so worked out that as they became permitted, we could advance them. We closed the deal with SSR, so we're cashed up, and all 3 of these projects have got a good, exploration plan over the next quarter, half year. Depending on the results of each one of those projects, we'll set a program. So on our Indiana project in Chile, we've just started drilling there, and if we get good results there, our plan would be to look at some short-term to production where we could make some cash flow and then pay back for it. The difficulty with a lot of these vein deposits, this is a high-grade vein deposits, is to explore them to lay it out as a 43-101 resource is very expensive to drill these off. But if you can take a small area, drill it off and then pay as you go, that's kind of the philosophy there. And there's an opportunity to bring in a lot of other projects in the area through M&A. We could get this up million over ounces. So it's a near-term advanced project. Paraguay, as I say, it's a huge district area. We're rolling the dice on that. That could be gigantic. And in Argentina, in our base, we've got some properties in Rio Negro, again, high-grade veins. All of those are being explored right now. We're spending money on all of them. We've just gotten going, so anybody that's watching us, we should have pretty steady news flow over the next couple of months for sure, and beyond.
Right. I want to do a little bit of a detour. I hope it'll be fun for you, but let's just talk about the vein mining for a moment.
Okay.
Let's look at the hypothetical where, it's a narrow vein, let's say relatively narrow, meaning, it's not a bulk deposit, open pit situation. And you're going to just go down that vein and pull out the metal, and you're going to use that to finance further the project. I mean, is that some kind of a worthwhile idea these days, or has everybody got to get a 43-101 or you can't do anything?
It's an excellent question, David. Excellent question. And our previous talks were in there dealing with exactly the same thing. And it's the way that before the 43-101 guidelines come, that's the way people did it, right? You would drill off your next couple of years and you'd go in, you'd mine it. These are continuous veins, and then you drill it again, because as you do your underground development and all this, it gets cheaper to drill. I mean, you can spend millions and millions of dollars trying to prove up this thing to 43-101, where if you've got a good production thing and you're going to get cash flow, the problem becomes is that because of 43-101 regulations, that you can't talk about it. I can't talk about the resources or reserve, the cash flow. It has to be in a company in Chile or wherever, and they're making it as a subsidiary. So it becomes a little trickier with that. And I think that's where some of these 43-101 guidelines fall down.
Yeah. Do you think it'll ever turn around? I mean, we're dealing with bureaucracy is my favorite topic. But it did go the other way. I mean, after BRIEX, the government came out and said, thou shalt. And there was, sound emotion behind it. We don't ever want to see this happen again, but you can't legislate honesty. It really can't be done.
You could not say it better. My background is in resources, reserves, and feasibilities. I worked with one of the top, consulting firms in the world, and when they were just introducing, like I was pre-BRIEX and after BRIEX, not on BRIEX, but they put in these plans, and then they would get everybody's advice, what we should do, and then it just became this huge bureaucratic thing. And where you used to be able to go in and get a 43-101 in maybe 10, 12 pages, you don't get one now for under 200 pages and $100,000. It's just become, but that's the way it is. Okay. But on the particular vein things, everybody's doing it, like I say.
Well, let's circle back. We can close out. Is there anything you'd like to talk about on Golden Arrow? We haven't.
I think we hit the high parts. It's a tough market right now. It's tough for a whole bunch of reasons, and it's nice to go back to those three things, right? It's the team, the project, and the cash. And I think if you've got that, like we do, we're in a pretty good position, and we have to spend our money wisely and show the market that we're for real.
Great, Brad. It's always a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Always a pleasure, David. Thank you.